Side of this argument from the Tshwane Mayor. The Chief Operating Officer for Rand Water, Mahlomola Mehlo, joins us now. Mahlomola, good afternoon to you. Firstly, are you conducting a 30-hour-long shutdown in Tshwane this weekend? Is that still happening?
Good afternoon, Stephen. Thanks for having us. No, that particular maintenance work has actually been postponed. We did communicate to the city of Tshwane by last week already. We are really surprised to see that they are still communicating the shutdown.
All right. What kind of conversation have you been having with them? You heard the claims there from Mayor Brink. He claimed that you're not communicating with them properly.
Well, Stephen, as the mayor correctly states, we actually welcomed the mayor at our offices. We took him through an extensive presentation where we showed him the sort of challenges that we're facing, especially from a power point of view. We further explained to the mayor the abrupt nature of the power outages. And from a communications point of view, we ourselves have got a customer charter that we renew on an annual basis, which really, dictates that we communicate at least 21 days prior to any maintenance work. And we've been doing that. Where we've had power outages and other emergencies, that's where, in terms of our bulk supply agreement, we're supposed to communicate at a technical level within an hour. Now, the problem that we see is that perhaps these sort of technical communications don't get to the office of the mayor. But what he's also not telling you is that he's been writing letters to us where we've been communicating and we've been replying through those letters, explaining ourselves in terms of the maintenance that we're doing, the program that we're undertaking. And it's public knowledge now that we have actually announced that we've got a maintenance program that we would like to undertake over the next 5 years. And we are really doing our best to communicate to Tshwane.
Okay. There are a couple of other things that come out of this. So you had, ahead of what was planned to be the long shutdown this long weekend, this is the shutdown that's no longer happening, you had given them 3 weeks' notice of that, 21 days.
Yes, as I indicate, we remember, Stephen, we don't just supply water to Tshwane. We don't have a system that is dedicated to Tshwane. So when we issue communications, it's not communications that is designed to Tshwane. It's communication that goes to all the municipalities that will be affected by a particular maintenance work. In this instance, Tshwane has got a shared system with City of Johannesburg, with City of Ekurhuleni, and parts of Mpumalanga as well as Free State. So when we issue that communication, we do issue communication. Unfortunately, as I indicate, the bulk of our communication is actually going to the technical people, and these are the people that we actually notify. We hold meetings with them, we plan together, and in certain instances, they will indicate to us that they are not ready. They would then request that we postpone a particular maintenance work. Okay.
The fact that you're not doing the long shutdown this weekend, clearly you're going to have to do it at some stage, right? I mean, you can't have defective valves at the pole meet forever.
Absolutely, Stephen. And that is why we try to communicate these things in advance. 21 days, it's 3 weeks. And in that 3 weeks, we don't fold arms. We consistently check the system. We continuously communicate with the technical team to check the status of their readiness. And it has actually happened in the past that Tshwane has actually written to us requesting that we postpone a maintenance work. And we have, acceded to these requests previously. So I can assure you we do communicate well in time.
So you would have heard the mayor there asking for the live telemetry was the word he used. In other words, to sort of have some sort of live reading of your reservoirs. Is that too much to ask? I mean, I can understand why he wants it. It's not his data, though. It's your data. Is that too much for him to ask? Do you think that there's a possibility you could give him that?
Well, not at all, Stephen. What I can actually tell you is that the issue of Rand Water's telemetry being shared with municipalities has actually been discussed in the past. And what was actually agreed to in one of the meetings that were facilitated by the minister is that we're going to share our live telemetry with the department instead, because they are a neutral figure in this instance. They will be able then to share what we are sharing with them with all the other customers. What we have said to Tshwane time and time and again is that we are busy currently sharing the telemetry with the department. We are training a personnel in the department, and as and when they need to have a view on that telemetry, they can actually do so. And it will be accessible to all our customers.
It'll be on a website somewhere if you know what you're doing and you know where to look, right?
Well, it's not necessarily on a website. What we use currently is a platform called SCADA.
Okay.
It's a particular program that is actually using that we're using for this telemetry. We also can actually access it on our phones, and you will need to have that app for you to access it.
Mahlomola, we all know how difficult your job is at the moment. You've got load shedding, you've got old infrastructure, you've got so many problems. And I think people do have some sympathy for you. But this is only going to work if you're able to work properly with all of the municipalities and they work properly with you. Can you give an undertaking that you are prepared to work properly with them at this stage, despite what may seem to be quite difficult words at the moment?
Well, Stephen, as I indicated, we do communicate with our customers. We do work well together. There is no specific tension between Rand Water and Tshwane. Letters have actually been written back and forth, especially in the past week or two. And that's why I'm saying, unfortunately, the contents of those letters are not necessarily shared with you. All we are seeing is the mayor actually complaining that we're not communicating. And we're trying to actually outline the process that we follow to communicate. And perhaps what we will do in the future, Stephen, is to try and make sure that whatever we communicate at a technical level, somehow we as Rand Water will have to ensure that the mayor does get to see that communication. We don't know how we're going to do it because, there are so many people that we deal with at the technical level in Tshwane, but quite clearly the mayor is not happy with the message that reaches his office.
Thank you very much indeed. Mahlomola Mehlo is the Chief Operating Officer at Rand Water. Do appreciate the time this afternoon.